AI chatbots. They're everywhere and everyone's talking about them, but what the hell are they? How do they work? And do they even work? Or are they just some buzzwords that you hear every now and then? Well, that's what I'm going to be explaining in this video. So hopefully, by the end of this video, you will have a complete understanding of what AI chatbots are and to consider if you should introduce them to your business or not. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so this is going to be a short one. It's going to be like a 5 to 10 minutes just explanation to essentially business owners what the hell AI chatbots are. It's meant to be an introduction masterclass for people who are maybe not that familiar with the AI landscape, who have heard about AI, who has heard about ChatGPT, and now DeepSeek, etc. All these buzz terms, but it's for business people who really want to get into what AI chatbots really are and how they can use it today. So I'm going to give a very brief introduction to what they really are. So what are AI chatbots? AI chatbots at a very fundamental level is just computer programs that uses AI to have a real-time conversations with customers. And the emphasis is real-time and natural conversations. So as with traditional chatbots, it can be deployed on your website, it can be deployed on your social media like Instagram or WhatsApp or Twitter, etc. So when the customers try to engage with these AI chatbots, they're going to, based on the user's question, and reply naturally like a human would do. And a very common use case, as I mentioned, is as an FAQ assistant who is there to answer any questions the customers or the users might have. But that's not what AI chatbots are about. AI chatbots is actually about problem solving. At the end of the day, AI chatbots are meant to be great problem solvers. They're meant to solve specific problems that are personalized and specific to the user. And they solve these problems by performing very specific tasks. So for example, product recommendation, appointment scheduling, booking a Zoom call, etc. These are all very specific tasks that can be performed to address specific problems being raised by a specific customer. So all in all, it's all a very customized human agent, kind of like human agent, but it's actually a computer program that's been trained with AI. I know this might seem very abstract, so let's watch this very quick demo of the upcoming video. It hasn't been released yet. I want you guys to actually get the first snippet of the upcoming tutorial. Yeah, welcome to Fandom. Please ask us any questions you have about our products. You can tell me what you want to see. I want some MMA shorts. Now, it's going to go ahead and recommend me some MMA shorts from the Airtable that we have. But let me go ahead and explain the Airtable in a bit. But let it run first. As you can see the carousel here, and it basically says, consider the Fandom Hurricane MMA shorts, basically it's a short description. So this is just to show you guys what it does. So it's a very simple product recommendation function. So hopefully you get an understanding of the demo of what AI chatbots can do. So as you can see from the example, it's essentially a product recommendation that from an e-commerce store that's be able to recommend certain products based on the specific user's query. Now that is solving a specific problems for the customer. So you might ask, how is AI chatbot any different to the traditional chatbots being produced by someone in Fiverr who try to sell you that at $20? Well, there's a big difference. So if we're talking about traditional chatbots, they are computer programs, but they are not trained by AI, meaning that these chatbots are all rule-based. So basically, someone writes a lot of business logic within the chatbot. So what I mean by that is someone literally hard code within the chatbot. If A happens, then perform this thing. If B happens, say this back to the user. If C happens, say this back to the user, etc. So as you can see, these are all rules being set by the designer by default or in advance to the chatbot. So the chatbot will always give the same answer or solution back to the customer to that specific question. So it means that the chatbot cannot really think on its own and quotation mark think, and it has zero adaptability. So it cannot adapt to a specific user use cases, or it cannot adapt to a very specific problem the user is trying to have. And its answer is often very robotic and extremely rigid, meaning that it can only produce the output that's being hard coded by the chatbot designer. So as you can see, it's not that great for having a personalized customer journey. And what are AI chatbots? Well, as I mentioned, they're basically computer programs being trained on AI models. And specifically, they're often built on very powerful models such as GPT. So you might have heard of ChatGPT, and they're basically using the same model as GPT. That's basically what's behind the scene. And these kind of AI models have been trained on millions and millions of data all over the internet. In general, basically every piece of information that you can think of, it has probably been trained on. So it has all these general knowledge that has been trained on by the companies by providers such as OpenAI. And on top of that, these AI models are then being fine-tuned on a very specific data set of your business. So for example, if your business is an e-commerce store, the AI model will be trained on the specific product data that you have on your e-commerce store. If you are a media production company, then this AI model will be trained and fine-tuned on a specific data set about your media production company policies or the services it offers, etc. So it's able to, quotation mark, understand the context behind the user's specific queries. Not only that, but also the tonality of the users and the intent of the users, simply because these GPT models have been trained on human-like conversations, meaning it can mimic and guess what's the best response to this specific user questions. It offers a much higher adaptability compared to a very traditional chatbot, which is kind of hard-coded in its responses, whereas an AI chatbot can produce a human-like conversation or continue on a human-like conversation, basically indefinitely, with a human user, which makes it much better problem solver and much better at performing tasks that are specific to the user's specific problems. Well, what about AI agents? I know it's all kind of mashed up, AI agents, AI chatbots. There are so many buzzwords nowadays. So let me actually break it down what AI agents are. So most of the thing that you see or being offered by other people, or most of the tutorials you see in YouTube, they're not AI agents. They're simply AI chatbots. But what are AI agents? Well, AI agents is a step beyond these AI chatbots that can actually perform a very specific tasks that will affect the real world. So not only that, but these AI agents will also be able to kind of perform something called to calling or function calling. And what do I mean by that is that the AI will be given a set of tools that it can use to perform a very specific tasks. For example, if someone were to ask about the stock price of NVIDIA, it will be able to access a list of tools that's given to them. For example, there could be Google Map or there can be Bloomberg, etc. And you have a list of tools that being given to this AI agent. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that the AI agent will be able to think on its own independently without a set of logic being set by the developers. They're able to think on its own, which is the best tool to solve this specific problem. In our use case about fetching the stock price, the best tool would not be Google Maps, and rather the best tool to use would be a Bloomberg API call. So it will basically think on its own, okay, Bloomberg is the best tool to use in this specific case. Then it will perform the action, which is sending an API request to Bloomberg in order to fetch back the stock price back to the user. So this is an AI agent which is able to have its own autonomous, independent decision making on the best tools to solve a specific problem, which is different to an AI chatbot because an AI chatbot can be instructed to use certain logic. For example, if this happens, then send this API request in order to do a very specific action. You still have AI model within the chatbot, but at the end of the day, it's still working on logic. Whereas for AI agents, they have their own autonomous decision. Of course, there's much deeper theory going behind it, but this is kind of like the high level overview, at least of a very service level overview of what are AI agents. So now you may ask, well, how do these AI chatbots work? You have all these fancy AI models. You talk about GPT being trained on data sets, etc. Well, at the end of the day, the main bulk of AI chatbots work from prompt engineering. And prompt engineering is basically guiding the AI to perform a specific tasks. It's basically giving instructions or asking the right questions to guide the AI towards doing specific things that you want them to do. Think of AI like a child, like a super genius child, but it has no knowledge of the world yet. So you kind of have to feed him and slowly guide him towards performing a very specific tasks. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you have experience using ChatGPT, which you're just asking ChatGPT, hey, how's the weather today? Or like, what's the biggest city in the world? But in a business use case, it's often much more complicated than this because there are different logic or different business logic that we're trying to implement. So the prompts, we need a more formalized approach to do that, and that is known as prompt engineering. On the right, you can see this is the big list of prompts based on one of our current client project that we're delivering at the moment. And sorry about the black block that you're being seen right now because we can't review too much of this information because it's based on the actual client project that we're working on. But as you can see, the prompt itself is like almost 2 pages long. And there's basically lots of consideration to consider. And right now, this is not even the final version of the prompt. And I want you guys to understand that prompt engineering is just not someone just writing an English essay or someone just doing some sort of English writing tasks. If someone approaches you and say like, oh yeah, we'll just use this short prompt, they're probably doing it wrong. Because in reality, to handle the complex use cases in businesses, you actually need proper prompt engineering techniques, which involve a lot of phases of actual testing and actual using a prompt engineering IDE in order to actually test out different prompts, in order to test out the accuracies and responses of the different AI chatbots. So this is kind of how an AI chatbot works, by basically engineering and perfecting the prompt. Now you may ask, okay, this is all really cool, but why do we need it? Like, do your business really need it? And of course I'm going to say yes. You probably could have guessed, but why? Well, think about it this way. AI is never going to go away, right? If you have seen the news, you've probably seen the AI landscape is changing exponentially. China has released DeepSeek, which is 1/10 of the cost of GPT, and somehow performing the same as GPT-o1, which is the best model of OpenAI. If you didn't know, OpenAI is basically the company behind ChatGPT, and it's the biggest AI providers in the world. And somehow China, using 1/10 of the cost, somehow managed to produce the best model that OpenAI has. If that doesn't kind of show you how fast the AI landscape is going, like it's going crazy at the moment. And as more and more companies are going to adapt this kind of AI technology, most businesses will want to stay as a competitive advantage compared to the other businesses by having their own AI systems being implemented in their business as well. And the good thing about AI is that it's always there. It's available 24/7. No matter it's talking to 10 customers or 10,000 customers at the same time, they all work the same. They're always there to answer customers' questions. So in other words, it's able to save your company and your business so much time and cost. And based on one of the research by Bain, one of the consulting group, it saves the cost of almost 40% of any businesses just by simply using AI. It's simply because, again, you don't need a human agent to kind of answer questions because this AI has been trained on a very specific data set specific to your business. And that's the difference between the AI chatbot and the traditional chatbot is that it has its own customization. It's been trained on answering questions, specific questions about your business. Think of how cool that is. You don't need because for human, it's very easy maybe to mess up a conversation or forget something. AI would never forget. Another huge advantage of the AI revolution is that it actually affects your bottom line as well by increasing sales, simply because, well, one, you provide a much better customer journey because, as I mentioned, as you see in the demo, it's providing a personalized recommendation and actually solving a specific problems for your specific customer. And if you have any sort of offer or discount, it will always be, you can always set it up such that it will always trigger and have some sort of an upsell or offer to the customer. Now, I know that employees can do the same, but what kind of guarantee do you really have that on their first call, let's assume it's an AI voice caller, or on the 10,000 call, that they will keep the same energy, tonality, and even doing the same sort of upsell package to the customers, right? And don't forget, AI is infinitely scalable, or well, almost infinitely scalable, not infinite, but it's able to scale massively because once you have the foundation model set up, you just simply need to deploy it into your various platforms, social media, website, etc., and it will be there basically forever. So this is kind of like why most businesses have slowly started to adapt AI systems into their businesses. So hopefully this has given you guys a kind of a short masterclass on what AI chatbots do and what's the difference between AI chatbots, traditional chatbots, and AI agents, and what value does it actually bring to businesses in general. So hopefully that has been really helpful. And if you guys think this is helpful, remember to like and subscribe and comment on the video below what other masterclasses do you want me to do. And just before I go very quickly, my name is Edwin. I'm the founder of Legacy AI, and along with my friend Champion, we've been developing Legacy AI, which is an AI agency operating both in the UK and Thailand at the moment. And we're helping businesses like yours to implement and advise on you guys which AI systems is best specific for your businesses. So hopefully it's been helpful. And before you go, watch this. My name is Edwin. I'm the founder of Legacy AI, alongside my friend Champion here. That's his real name, by the way. And together we offer voice-based and text-based AI solutions like the one you're seeing in this video to other businesses to help them save hours and hours of time and thousands of dollars spent on manual service tasks such as appointment scheduling, CRM integration, lead generation, etc. And if you're a business owner and you're interested to see how these AI solutions can help transform your business and improve your bottom line, follow the link in the description to book a free consultation call with us today.